about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires. Shut up.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
I don't know what the hell's in there. It's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
Jason's alive. He killed my friend, now he's coming for me.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
You bastards. Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
Well, I'll tell you. Nobody handles garbage better than we do.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pete, and this is Giving Me Back My Horror Movies. This is the second month of Pete, where I am picking all the movies for this month.
It feels a little bit like
May.
that right now.
Actually, the weirdness is I had two good suggestions, and we were kind of, come what may, just throwing things at the at the wall. I'm kidding, and everyone went, "Hey, I like that idea." Oh, and I like that idea. Who are you again?
This is shocking. We didn't lose a bet. We didn't do anything.
Right.
People would just throw a movie out, and I went, "Sounds good. Let's do it." Throw another one out, going, "Okay, yeah, sure."
That doesn't sound like. I've got columns of my movie list. Like this one is going to piss people off, and this one I really like, and this one I think is a classic that no one sees, and that's what we were watching tonight. This is Spider Baby from '67. Was it 60? Yeah, 1967. And we'll get into some histories right after this trailer.
Dreams and bones and bats and bones and teenage monsters in haunted homes, a ghost on the stair, a vampire's bite. But beware, there's a full moon tonight.
Big fat bug right in my spiderweb.
Virginia, are you crazy?
You're bad. Bad.
You were not supposed to play spider anymore. Cannibal spiders creep and crawl, boys and ghouls having a ball. Frankenstein, Dracula, and even the mummy are sure to end up in somebody's tummy.
Hey, he's just a big kid.
Yes, it's like you say, sir. We're not very formal here at Mary House.
And the big black spider goes round and round.
Sit round a fire with this cup of brew, a fiend and a werewolf on each side of you. This cannibal orgy is strange to behold, and the maddest story ever told.
Still, all I want to do is make a little sneak cut.
Okay, Spider Baby, 1967, also known as the maddest story ever told. It had a couple other names.
Cannibal orgy.
Yes, that was
and
it.
there was another one I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. So it got kicked around a little bit. So let's just kind of start at the beginning. Jack Hill directed this. He's a prodigy of the Roger Corman Factory. At UCLA, he was roommates with Francis Ford Coppola, by the way.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. And this was Lon Chaney Jr.'s very last performance on screen. And sadly, this was released a few years after he passed. So he never got to see this on the big screen. Mm-hmm. This was, there was, I'm going to get some of this wrong, but let's abbreviate it. This couple wanted to produce a movie. And someone said, "Hey, I know a director." They got the producers in touch with Jack Hill. Jack Hill wrote a script. They filmed it, and oopsie doodle, we went bankrupt before the movie was filmed. So the movie sat on a shelf for 3 years until somebody got a hold of it, re-edited it for Jack Hill, to Jack Hill's delight, by the way. He was very happy with the 84-minute final cut. 84. And it was released in like 3 theaters, including one in Fremont, Ohio, of all places.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Charlie? Fremont.
Right.
That's
Of all
such
places.
A random town to release it.
It's a small town in Ohio.
Yes.
In like it would have been like, this would have been a release in like 19, well, maybe it was
69, 70.
You know what? It's 1967. Maybe they filmed it in, my memory is truncated a little bit.
It's set for 3. It'd been in the early 70s if it came out.
So Fremont, Ohio, a tiny little, well, not tiny, but it's not a big town. It's small. So oddly, it stopped there, and those were the only 3 theaters that I read it went to, and it quickly went away.
It disappeared.
It disappeared. It was thought to be lost media for a long time.
Till the 90s? Was it the 90s?
The 90s. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, the mid-ish 90s, like 96 or something like that.
Somebody found a VHS copy, and then it kicked someone up to start digging, and they finally found
an original print
at some editor office, archive, and they found it.
It's one of those dumb things.
Isn't it cool how stuff like that happens? You know, they start to follow a trail, and then, this director knew this guy, and he handed off half of his film cans to him and half to the other guy, and he don't remember who got which half, that kind of thing. And then they end up finding it. That's pretty epic.
Yeah. I would love a show that follows these, like the original Nosferatu from the silent film from 21 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That was found buried in some German's barn, because all copies were supposed to have been destroyed because the Stoker family was pissed off that movie was made without their consent. So I think 3 copies survived, and the first one they found was buried in somebody's barn.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
which is amazing because that stuff was like super flammable, damn near explosive, and needed to be stored a certain way. Yeah,
literally made out of silver back then. Also,
pretty much.
So silver screen. That's blah blah blah. Anywho,
exactly.
There's endless stories about that, and this fits into that category. Once the negative was found, it was released on. I think it was released on DVD first. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever got an actual, somehow it was recorded onto VHS.
Yes.
But not like a release. But I don't think it ever got a VHS distribution.
Yeah,
because somehow this still kind of technically fell under publicly owned.
Yeah, it's public domain.
It's public domain.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was sat on a shelf, and it was literally buried for not literally, I'm sorry. It was shelved for, what would that be? 30 years, right?
Yes.
20 odd years.
It was 20 years that it just sat with nothing. And then and that's why it has at least 4, maybe 5 different titles. And that also leads to Spider Baby wasn't even his original title. He found out that that's kind of how it became known in the small circles that were viewing it. And he's kind of like, yeah, actually, I kind of like that because it emphasizes the girl in here. So he's like, cool, it's Spider Baby now.
Yeah.
And then it also, even in the opening credits or the maddest story you have ever heard, both of those titles are on this movie that when you watch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of Sid Haig's, not one of Sid Haig's first films, but Sid Haig's first film with director Jack Hill. Jack Hill hired Sid for a lot of movies. Now, Jack Hill is an infamous exploitation director. He did things like The Big Birdcage, Switchblade Sisters. He did a lot. If you look up his filmography, it's freaking awesome, and it's all stuff. What's the? There's another one.
They're all Pete movies, as
they really are, and I've seen the vast majority. I've not seen Switchblade Sisters because it's really hard to find, but I've seen the vast majority. Others, Big Dollhouse is on Amazon Prime. That's like an exploitation film in the jungle. And Sid Haig is a nasty dude in that one.
Is he in that too?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. So much like a director gets familiar with his favorite cast, Rob Zombie
that's
does
cool.
it.
Yeah.
James Cameron does it. So he brought Sid back for a lot of these. Sid Haig was in his mid-20s in this film.
Yeah.
And he looks like, I guessed he was in his late teens, and he's not. But he does act the way that these people should, which we will get into here in a little bit. I think that's about all I have for the history of Spider Baby. Arrow has done a Blu-ray release with all sorts of deliciousness on it. It's $20 on Amazon right now. As soon as we get an Arrow sale going on, I'm totally buying it. Money's a little tight at the moment, but
it's not. He's sitting flush with cash right now.
Did you see all the money behind
video.
me? Yes,
yeah.
all the money.
That's his pillow he's sitting on.
Yeah,
I have a very expensive summer coming up, so I'm watching the dollars.
I understand. Yes.
Whose fault's that?
People having I got 2 weddings to go to.
2
in a matter of 3 weeks. It's like, ouch. So tuxedos and presents and fuck me.
And probably birthdays and
I gotta travel and hotels. That's a motherfucker. All this shit.
You're allowed to just say RSVP. No,
I'm in both weddings.
Oh, you're in them. Okay, that's fair. Because I was thinking for a minute, I was like, why is he buying a tuxedo for a wedding? I was like, okay, Pete, I see you.
I thought he was
spiffing
monogamous,
up.
but apparently I'm wrong. So.
No, I thought they're not my weddings, by the way. I ain't never doing that again.
Both are in Utah, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he wishes.
I thought my friends liked me, and then they asked me to be in their fucking weddings.
That means
it's
they
like,
don't like you.
Fuck you. You don't like me. Fuck
I
you.
know.
I think that's all the history I have of this. That's a really broad brush. There's a deep dive you can go into this film because I think it's really worth looking into. It is a cult classic because it was lost media. It was found again. It's you could play that 6 Degrees to Kevin Bacon if you could play it with Lon Chaney or something, because Sid Haig was in so many movies with so many different people.
Right.
I would be surprised if you couldn't make those things connect somehow.
And Rob Zombie probably picked his brain, just wanting to know what it was like to work with him and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. So the rest of the cast didn't do a whole lot. They weren't one and done people, but they had modest success in Hollywood. The rest of the cast, minus Sid Haig, of course.
Yeah, he kind of blew up.
Yeah, I kind of equate that too. I think a lot of them probably did theater as well. Especially that time period. We weren't just making movies. You were working in the theater. You were doing shows. So it's possible some of those they just stayed with that. Or
theater was more steady work. I mean, it was a steadier paycheck.
It was a steadier paycheck.
Than a single film. Like, boom, here's your paycheck. Well, okay, now.
Well, I read that Lon Chaney got a flat fee of $2,500 for this, and then every other cast member got $100 a day. And I think it said it was 14 days of filming. So $1,500 for everyone else. Lon Chaney's sitting back in his trailer, that extra $1,000 in his pocket in 1967.
That's a lot of money.
It's not for Lon Chaney, though. Lon Chaney, I did read that they weren't sure Chaney would do it because of the salary. This was a micro budget film because of the producers were there. This was their first film. They didn't know what they were doing, so they were doing it the Roger Corman way, right? But Chaney read it and went, "Oh, I want to do this." So I don't know how SAG works, how it worked back then, but like in today's Hollywood, you can't, if you've made a certain amount of money in Hollywood, like for a single picture, I think you can only accept a certain salary, a minimum salary. So you're Tom Cruise, you get $50 million for a picture. You can't go under $10 million for a picture anymore in your life or something like that.
Isn't that insane?
Unless you do it uncredited. And that's where like the Gene Hackmans and those funky cameos where people are just doing a favor for Rich Rodriguez or something. Robert Rodriguez, right?
So I guess when you get down to it, SAG is like an HOA. That's some bullshit. I'm disappointed.
It protects the people that are getting into it, but it also kind of handcuffs the veterans who want to try something wacky.
It's also like a union. That's another.
It's very much a union.
Yeah, very much a union. Whenever you get into,
and you think like actresses like Emma Stone, for example, you know, she very much would still take an indie role and probably not get paid.
Elijah Wood.
Him, bingo. There are actors out there that are like that. Nick Cage, he would take a kick-ass role for $1,000. I guarantee it.
Yeah, he gives BJs, HJs, and ZJs anywhere, anytime. What's a ZJ?
That's Nick Cage. He knows.
Oh, damn it. Come on, people.
You didn't get me looking that the girl that played Elizabeth, one of the kids, that's Beverly Washburn. She was like in Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
The original Star Trek series. She was Dr. Washburn. Or, no, her name's Washburn. It's Arlene something. She was in the one that everybody started aging.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like one of the more prominent like doctors.
I didn't mean to disparage these actors.
No.
They've all had, outside of Sid Haig, they've all had modest Hollywood careers.
Yes.
Is probably a better word for it.
Yeah. They had careers, but as far as like stuff we would even probably know,
the woman, the love interest for Peter and Anna, or Anne. I'm sorry, her name was
Anne. I know.
So close. She went on to do quite a bit. I think she's second after Sid Haig as far as doing things.
Yeah, and I think she's the one that was in House on Haunted Hill before.
No, that was
Which one was it?
That was the woman that spent the night, not
Emily.
the woman. Yes, Emily, the woman that spent the night was in House on Haunted Hill.
The 90.
But
yeah, that 90. I was like, why? Woo! Why is this woman dressed like this?
Titillation. It's a Roger Corman director.
I guess, but it just seems so out of place. And I just didn't like her anyway. So I was like, why is she getting all fancied up to stay in this old house?
She's really pretty and unlikable in every role she's ever had. She's an unlikable gold digger or something. She's an awful person in House on Haunted Hill as Vincent Price's wife. But Vincent Price, to her defense, is no better than she is.
Isn't she the one that gets melted in acid or something like that?
Yeah, she gets tossed in the vat of acid.
She gets tossed in the vat of acid.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, see, I have seen older movies.
That's it. House on Haunted Hill.
It's a fun time.
I haven't seen the original one yet.
Yeah, the original
is a lot of fun.
It's that old spooky house or the old gray house,
kind of,
which is kind of this movie. Also, this movie is old.
I was gonna say, House on Haunted Hill was something a little different. I think. So we'll talk about the movie. It's listed as a horror, black comedy, suspense, mystery, whatever, all those things. And I went, there's the issue I'm having with this movie. I wish they'd never even tried to even add any amount of black comedy into this and kept with the creep, the dread of it. Because to me, none of the comedy lands in this movie. Like, even though I know they're not going for a slapstick comedy, the black comedy of it just did not work for me whatsoever. And there's a lot of stuff I love about this movie. Don't get me wrong. This is not going to be Charlie shitting on this movie whatsoever. I had fun with it. But when you could almost see the comedy, they're like, we're getting ready to do something a little zany now.
I just kind of chalked it up to that was just them. Like that was their kind of eccentric, weird personality. I mean, look at the way they're living and the things they're doing. They're a little kooky, so I just kind of chalked it up to that.
A darker Addams Family, maybe.
I got that vibe. It's really not so much about them. It's not Elizabeth and them. It was like the lawyer, Shotsky, whatever his, when I just kept remembering Haunted Honeymoon when he's sneaking around, looking through everything. It had a very Inspector Clouseau look to him, but I'm only laughing at him and how he's acting, nothing around the movie is making me feel like it should be a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really all that happens is Lon Chaney walks by just before he sticks his hand where we know spiders are, you know, and it just felt off. He's got that stupid freaking painted on mustache, and, you know,
smoking that disgusting cigar,
flashlight under his arms. And when the girls attack him, he's like, young ladies, this is not an appropriate thing we should be doing here.
I will
was just
tell
like,
the
oh
authorities on you.
Yeah, I was like, oh God. I was ready for that guy to die. I was just ready for him to die.
But well, so no one's got any outside of myself. No one's got any history, I assume.
I never even heard of this.
Never even heard of it.
Well, Anna, we actually do have some history with this.
Oh,
we did,
because there's a movie that takes a crap ton of inspiration from this.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
I agree.
That's fair. Yeah, maybe that's why I liked it so much.
That is the one thing I got even before I read it, because I did read through the trivia on here. I went even if you erase the Sid Haig connection to House, the kooky family that is torturing people. There's dead bodies around. There's things in the basement. I went, Rob Zombie fucking loves this movie. Like I immediately just had that in my brain. And then when you guys, you know, even Pete even mentioned Rob Zombie a second ago, and then Anna said something about, I'm sure Rob Zombie picked Sid Haig's brain the whole time. I'm like, it's because this is like a very early version of House of a Thousand Corpses with the sadism turned way the fuck down, and the racism and the, you know, all the other shit that's in that
the
movie.
not PC term for mentally disabled people.
I actually wanted to talk about that for a second. Everybody just bear with me for a moment.
Let's hear it. You're not going to hurt my feelings here.
Well, this is a movie. We have to remember when it was done. This is in 1967.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
Oh, I used that language in junior high and high school, for heaven's sakes.
Oh, yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
We used it way past that. But so they use a term. I will say it.
Go ahead.
Because this is in it. So they use the term retarded.
Well, he used it in a medical way. He didn't use it in a disparaging way, for one thing.
That's where I'm going, Pete.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
You're fine. I know you're so ready to help defend me, but I wanted to point out that the way this was written, that they use that word, Lon Chaney says it, and all the people around him that are there to take, you know, possession of this fortune accept it as what we all know as that word means. And it's like, oh yeah, we're no longer putting them in homes. And Lon Chaney keeps going, no, that's not what I mean when I say retarded. I literally mean they're being held back by this disease they have. They call it what their last name is. It's a made-up disease. It's supposed
Mary.
To be it's the
Mary.
Mary.
It's a regression of the person as a human being, and eventually you regress all the way back to being a cannibal. So that's kind of the short. But he is saying they are being physically retarded in their mental capacities and all of their capacities. Everyone else was kind of treating it like he was saying what we now consider a disparaging term.
Yeah.
And so when I'm watching this, it didn't come across as like nails on a chalkboard to me, because I actually like that in 1967, they're even, no, I'm not saying that word. Yeah. I'm saying, it's like I do mechanics. You have to retard the timing on something, which means
I play music. This is the retard.
Exactly. So it's just because it's that word, there's other meanings. But I've just kind of found that the way Lon Chaney presented it, I was like, I like that. And I actually wanted to talk about that. And I'm glad you brought that up first off, because I really, that kind of keyed in on me. And the way Lon Chaney is in this movie, but he's a powerhouse. The way he delivers his lines.
Outside of the Wolfman, I think this is his finest performance.
I don't know much about him outside of it.
I've seen a lot of his movies, and he was so good in this movie. Like,
yes,
I felt for the man. I don't think he was an intelligent man. I don't think he did not have the disease.
No,
but he was and I also don't think he was a simpleton, but I think he was a simple person trying to take care of the
Yeah.
kids that he promised to take care of by his family. So, okay, let's not run through the movie, but let's just say Lon Chaney is the caretaker, the butler, the driver.
He was originally just the valet, and I guess it kind of turned into caregiver.
And this family's disease comes from inbreeding, which has affected the children's children, of course. And this is the last iteration of these children.
Mm-hmm.
And the father asked Lon Chaney to take care of his kids after his death. And we do see the body of the father early on. I think Victoria kisses him on the.
One of them does. I think it's Victoria that goes in and kisses.
So
I just love that. Are you gonna go kiss Daddy goodnight?
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Yes.
Where's Daddy?
Well,
Oh yeah, that lead up was great.
skeleton.
And then boom, skeleton. I was like,
oh shit.
I'm digging on that. Yeah. So
they're sitting. This is a family of some substantial wealth. We find that out way later. Of course.
at the end of the movie is when we find out
pretty much. Yeah. And then, but there's a lawyer who has found out that these children are living alone or without a guardian or something. Found other family members that aren't afflicted with said disease because they went off of a branch that didn't do any inbreeding or did less inbreeding.
A little bit. You never know.
So these people are gathered. These surviving family members are gathered at this house, which is not the. I thought it was a psycho house when I first saw this movie. It's not the psycho house. Boy, it looks like it. Boy, it looks like it.
It's that parapet at the top that makes you think it's the psycho house.
It's like, it's a psycho house. No,
it's not that one.
It's not. It's also a historical monument marker.
Yes, yeah, it's a historical landmark.
Yeah, that landmark. Thank you.
Yeah.
So okay, where was I? Oh, I've already.
Well, the family. This lawyer has found members of this family to bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
So. We're not walking through it. This is now just a perfect point to get into.
Trying to set the stage here. What's happening?
The one thing I was so mad at the beginning of this movie is this poor guy, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is there to deliver a notice, and he gets this notice, and Lon Chaney gets to read it. Only a few hours later, apparently, and the lawyer and everyone will be there today. I just got this notice. Today.
That's relatable even now. It's like, oh, you have this amount of days, or you have to reply by this time, and you get the letter 3 days prior in the mail.
Yeah.
It felt a little Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where, we're going to put this superhighway through your house. Oh, it's been on display in the basement, behind a locked door, in a safe, under...
And it kind of has to be this way because it's plot armor. Because otherwise they could have prepared, or not been there. So I get it, but I just couldn't help but laugh because Lon Chaney opens up this letter, obviously after the carnage that this movie is probably most known for is its opening kill.
It's good
in this. Anna, I know this was one you jumped into the chat after you saw it, talking about this. What'd you think about this? Out of nowhere opening kill.
That was the biggest thing because it's like I love the way this started, by the way, just with that song that was on the trailer. It starts with that, with this kind of cartoony opening. You mentioned Inspector Clouseau earlier. It reminded me of the Peter Sellers Pink Panther movies. They would do that. So I was like, oh, I like this. And so then when it starts, you're like, okay, you're following this guy. He's delivering a letter. Nobody's home. Okay, what's going on? He peeks in the window, and there's one of the girls with 2 knives, and it's all implied, but it does like the psycho thing in a way. Almost not seeing it is more impactful than seeing it right in your face because it's in the first 10 minutes, and the girl just kills the mailman who's just trying to do his job and deliver the letter.
And she did it with a trap. So this is our titular spider baby, so to speak, because she's the spider obsessed little girl. Well, it's very ambiguous how old.
Young adult.
Yeah, I'm not. I think
young adult for sure. Yeah,
this is the disease because they say they regress back almost into childhood, even though they're older.
They hit a certain age and they start actually.
So it's kind of like she's like 18 or 19, but she's acting like she's 12 or 11. maybe even a little younger. So I think that's the dynamic they're playing around with the disease.
One of the fun things, this delivery man was a stand-up comedian, or he was a comedian in Hollywood. And Jack Hill wanted to kill him to shock the audience. So the audience is thinking, oh, we know this guy. He's a funny man.
Oh, okay.
And he can't, there's nobody home. There's a window open and he sticks his head in the window. The window slams down on the back of his neck, trapping him. And that's when Victoria covers his head with a net.
Yeah.
And then slices him to ribbons.
Yeah. I mean, she's going crazy with the knives.
She
like,
is,
we just see her like doing this, like, and we don't see her actually stabbing him. But my God, we don't need to.
It's enough. Stinging. The spider is stinging the bug. The spider.
Yeah.
I will say for a movie that's not a comedy, there was a section I laughed the hardest, and it was at the beginning of this movie because this guy is on this tricycle.
Was it the White Family?
No, not the White. The White Family was funny.
That was very funny.
We don't know nothing about no house around here.
Get away here. Get away here. There's a Negro outside. Let's get inside. Hurry up, children.
Even if there was a house by that name, we wouldn't know nothing about that house by that name, and they just run inside. But no, it's this delivery guy on this tricycle, and he's actually on one, and they're filming him. But they tried to do this motion shot where he's being like on a trailer and he's being trolleyed behind it.
Okay.
So he's acting like he's riding it. That motherfucker's moving his hands constantly like he's revving and shifting gears and turning. And then it'll immediately cut to where he's actually driving. Hands are still because you don't move much when you're really driving, but to fake it, that little motorcycle would have been like if he was actually doing it. And I was dying going, okay, if this is the comedy I'm in for, I'm here for it. I never got that level again at all with this movie.
That's funny.
But it tickled me so good. But the kill really kind of got me and shocked me a little bit. I was like, I wasn't expecting it that early or to be that innocuous of a character just popped right out.
It was as vicious as they get at this time in Hollywood cinema.
Oh, this is straight up slasher. Mm-hmm. This is opening of Scream.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
With the kid hanging from the tree. Mm-hmm. That's the level. I'm sure that's the level of shock people felt.
Yep.
Had they in Ohio,
in Fremont,
Ohio, all 12 people mortified.
Yes.
One of my favorite things to do is when I'm watching an old film, I try my best to put myself in the shoes of the viewer. Like, okay, I can't think that I've seen House of a Thousand Corpses. I can't think I've seen The Thing. I have to try to focus like, okay, what have people seen to this point that would be horrifying? And wow, that first kill is awful. It's terrifying. Yeah. And I think this movie, if you can put yourself in those shoes, those little girls are scary as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Sid Haig is scary as fuck.
Oh, the entrance of Sid Haig when he goes to the car and he goes, I got Ralph, and he gets up next to the door because the little girl is, Ralph's home. She's so excited, and Lon Chaney's very cautious at the door. Ralph, we're home. Ralph, slowly, and there's like thick coverings over the windows because it's an old school limo, so it's like privacy curtains. And he opens up that door, and then you see a bald head laying on the floorboard of the car.
You almost think he's dead.
Yeah, you're like, is that a body? What's going on? And then all of a sudden, young Sid Haig, which is shocking enough to see, and he pops that head out, and he crawls out like an animal. And I'm like, hell yeah. I am digging on how Sid Haig's
how he didn't get an Oscar for this performance. I don't know, boy.
We have a guy at work, and for the longest time, I have asked myself, who does he remind me of? And it's Sid fucking Haig. And it was not, don't say that. It was not until this movie that I was like, that's him. And so he worked today, and I was like, man, has anybody ever told you look like a young Sid Haig? And he was like, No, but I like that. But he has like very defined, like a very defined jawline. He has a very big mouth and just
oval
the
face.
yes,
Okay.
an oval face. Just a spitting image. And now that I've seen young Sid Haig, I was like, man, that's totally him.
And I'll be 100% honest. He's a handsome dude, honestly.
Yeah, he's not bad looking.
I know he's playing a freak kind of character, but you can see how he got into movies. You know what I mean? And I also remember him from, the early Batman TV show because he was like the Pharaoh or whatever, the Egyptian villain. You don't remember that, Pete, in the old Batman TV show?
King Tut?
Yeah, something like that. That's
It's not King Tut. King Tut was a big fat dude.
Was he was one of the henchmen or something. He's one
of
the,
if he's a henchman, hell, fuck, I don't know.
Well, he's one of the characters from that episode with
maybe.
King Tut.
King Tut was not Sid Haig. But if he was one of King Tut's henchmen, okay.
Yeah, that episode.
Not arguing, I just like
No, I'm not saying you're arguing. It's one
I'm
of
not
those.
arguing. Stop arguing.
Last time I watched that episode, probably like 30 fucking years ago. Fine, commercial.
And that's that.
You're watching the USA Network.
Sharks of the Corn? Virus shark? Cocaine shark? Sharktopus? Yeah, those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
Just how drunk are we gonna get?
Welcome to Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, where each month we drink finely crafted brews while watching terrible films in order to see just how drunk you have to get to enjoy them. So tune in and join Troy.
Kilmore Crates.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Dave.
I have the weirdest boner.
And Pete.
IPAs are ales, meaning they are bottom fermented. Excuse me, they are top fermented. I that up. Try that again.
As we drag Kathleen,
Hear me.
kicking and screaming through an alcohol-fueled podcast dedicated to movies of questionable quality and the frosty adult beverages that help make them tolerable. Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. Clearly, it's the beer's fault.
Just when you thought you were safe, the terror continues with another chilly tale tonight on USA Network's Saturday Nightmares.
So we've been introduced to all the characters. We've got the two gals, Victoria. Oh shit! Now I've got
Victoria
Elizabeth.
and Anne, right?
No, not Anne. Anne's the adult.
Oh,
She's
okay.
the
I
adult.
honestly could not remember their names except Ralph.
So
it's
Victoria
Virginia and
Virginia.
It's Virginia and
Thank you.
Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth. Virginia and Elizabeth are the two young gals. Sid Haig, Ralph, and Bruno. Lon Chaney.
Bruno's
And
gonna
then-
hate you.
He is gonna hate you. Don't hate. Stop hating.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Every time he was like, we don't hate.
We don't hate.
Hate is not right.
He knows how dangerous these people are, and we'll get to that real quick because what's going to happen to these people are already in the house.
He's got the biggest patience threshold.
Yep.
I would have been like out a long time ago.
I like what Charlie said earlier. Is like he's got a loyalty to his. Hell, he even calls him master. For heaven's sakes, he's got such a loyalty to the former patriarch,
the dad. We'll just
right,
just call him the
dad. That he is faithful to these children to a fault.
Yes.
Oh man. So anywho, the lawyer. I'm thinking that Peter, right, and Emily are cousins of something, right?
I didn't think the lawyer was
no.
related.
The lawyer is the short.
Schlotsky,
right.
Schmotsky,
He's a
whatever.
lawyer, But
he's no relation. But it's
no. The lawyer's not a relation.
It's Peter and the other woman are.
Yes. Now Anne, I thought was his paralegal or something, or secretary.
That's his assistant. That's his
right.
secretary.
So we've got Emily and Peter as the long lost relatives of
they call him Uncle Peter and
Anne.
Aunt Anne is
yes.
what the girls
not
call
Aunt
them.
Anne
or not
Aunt
Anne,
Emily.
Aunt Emily.
Emily.
Anne is the lady
The
that Peter kind of
secretary.
has the hots for.
And I cannot wait to talk about those two later on.
And then Pencil Mustache Schlotsky,
yes,
the lawyer dude.
Yeah, you mean when they they'll say a sentence and then say Mrs. such and such. Well, yes, that sounds like a fine idea, Mr. such and such. At the end of every sentence, they have to address each other that way. I was like, all right, we get it. We know your names. Even though I can't remember them right now.
So they're coming today, right, Charlie? You said that. They got the telegram. They're coming today. So Bruno puts the children through a quick, here's etiquette. Do this, do that, do that. And we don't actually see this, which is to the compliment of the film. We don't need to see that bullshit. But when these people show up, the kids are in very good order. They do the best that they can.
Can I? So
I said the best they can, which is not great.
No. So you set this up perfectly because you say we don't see him teach them because it sets it up perfectly for what I think is the best fucking reveal is Sid Haig coming down the dumbwaiter and he is in his little Dutch boy fancy outfit with shorts that are definitely cut off pants because you could still see the pockets sticking down. Right. He's got his Dutch boy hat on. And from the start, Peter is my favorite character in this movie. And he goes,
I have that effect on people.
Look at Ralph. Look how nice Ralph's looking today.
It's harmless. Look at this cat.
I was like, I like how this guy talks to these kids and all this other stuff. But Ralph has the biggest smile on his fucking face.
I know. It was cute.
It was the most heartwarming thing of this movie where I was like, look at that motherfucker. Look how happy he is.
I did appreciate how Peter talked to them about how they're harmless. They're just kids. Granted, we know they aren't, but he's at least not just judging them right off the jump, just based on everything going on. He's giving them a chance.
First impressions with those kids, Peter has got them won over immediately.
All
for sure.
They love him, even depending on what they're getting ready to do later.
I think Peter is a genuine,
he comes with the name.
Good guy. I know. I'm pretty awesome. I'll have you know.
I think the movie does a really smart job of giving us a good guy and a villain with the aunt and uncle, where Peter immediately comes across as the good guy he's there because a lawyer called him and he's like, I don't know anything about why I'm here. And this other woman is, I'm going to get this money. There has to be some type of value here. Let's get this process started.
I feel like she knows more than Peter does, though.
Well, I think she's in it with the lawyer. And I feel like legally because they found one more, they had to include him, but that's why she's like, you would have to drag me away from this house for me not to stay here tonight. And Peter's like, well, number one, he's trying to get some, but he's like, no, we'll just go down to the inn I saw in town. Well, hell yeah, I'll take her with me. The lawyer's like, fuck yeah, take her. I don't give a shit because I think the lawyer's trying to get down with the aunt lady a little bit.
At least they're gonna solidify their plans to expose
something's gonna be solid,
because they did point out that so Bruno is not family and has been taking care of the children for how many years,
right?
And that's a legit concern.
Exactly.
From
it
a
is
legal standpoint.
It is.
Nobody knows who you are. No, you're not family, and you're caring for these people. Their actual parents are dead. We think
a little sketchy, and no one was notified. You didn't tell anyone. You just kept taking care of them. It is a little sketchy by today's standards.
But they sell it a little. They sell it a little differently because I think she even goes but you haven't, or the lawyer even says something towards her you haven't used anything from the estate to Lon Chaney's been doing this himself. There wasn't like Adam's Family, where there's a secret vault of money that Gomez could go get and pay the bills.
Apparently there
for
is,
the month.
but yes.
But there's no opulence here. There's no upkeep. We see what they eat during the dinner.
Mhm.
Like there's nothing fancy. Lon Chaney, he is he's a limo driver. I almost kind of feel like he moonlights a little bit. I was kind of gathering like maybe he does that as a job.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have access to the funds.
Well, that's what I'm
or-
saying.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
that lady says something like you've never used anything from the estate. The estate meaning the money,
The house is
Yeah.
in disrepair.
the
The
value.
children could be enrolled in schools that could help them.
He
or
could have
doctors that could help them.
He could have gone through the process of allowing the children to gain the inheritance, and then he controls the children to better his means. And they're looking at him suspiciously like, you haven't done that. Why haven't you done that? And that's an odd kind of little underlying tone you start picking up on the movie. Trust me, this is the first time I've seen this movie, and I literally just got done watching it. But I am like trying to pick up on the story plots as it goes and what everyone's goal is at the end of this, which is why Peter is the good guy. You could have been like, well, Peter, you don't get the house. Okay, I guess I'm going back to work now.
I didn't have a house to begin with.
Right, yeah. Whatever, cool. Nice to know I have extended family that I will not get any doctor's reports from because I don't want anyone knowing that's in my bloodline, where even if it's an offshoot, I don't want anyone knowing about that. But the other lady's very evil lady that wants to rub her hands together with about all the money she's going to get.
Totally is. That's good.
Yeah, she's looking at a piece of property and money you can get from taking care of the children who have deceased parents and also their medical issues. She's looking at it from a what can I gain from this standpoint. She's not profit. She doesn't really give a shit about the kids or about taking care of them. All she sees is dollar signs. And that's the difference between them. Even though he's not making any money, he's just doing it out of loyalty to their dad because they were such good friends. Yeah.
I think he genuinely loves these children. Lon
He
Chaney
puts up with
Jr.
some shit, like a lot of shit.
His performance in this is so unbelievably matriarchal. Like he loves these children as his own, and it's like the last speech that he gives before he brings the dynamite back is heartbreaking and heartwarming. And like if you weren't a father, I would have said you were a father. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense.
Right. I know you're right. He is their father, basically.
Yes.
Even though they're, daddy is in the house with them, and he has put up with a lot, and it's all out of love. Because it's like when he walks up to the dead body from the beginning of the movie, and he's just in his brain, God, not again.
Not again. Yeah, and he's going to take care of it.
As if they had broken a window, or
or
gotten into the cupcakes.
Done something so childish, but
clearly not the first time this has happened.
Exactly.
No, there's a reason. There's a reason other than racism. Those white people ran back in the house too, Pete.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
I really do. I think it's a 50-50. That's really what I'm going with right about
Hey,
there.
I don't like you or what you're talking about.
Honestly, think about it. Those we're going all the way back to those white people. They're kind of like a very early version of our harbinger that we get in movies later. Don't go down that road.
Don't go down that road.
Don't bury nobody in that cemetery.
No one ever comes
Where's
back.
Nate when we need him?
I know.
He was on B Action last night. So
I heard about that. Yeah.
Everybody go check out the latest episode of B Action. You will be reunited with Nate. So
and ask him in the comments why he can't spend time with us over here.
Punk ass.
I think it was literally a Thursday night he was able to get away. And Mondays
I know. I'm just giving him shit. I just miss Nate.
Give him all the shit. I have no problem with that. I was like, audience.
I was like, oh, so he can make time for B Action, but he can't make time for me and Pete.
Harumph.
I didn't get a harump from that guy over there. Get the mayor.
Harump! You better watch your ass.
No, and I'm going to talk about the dinner scene here because
oh man,
I love Sid Haig in this, man, but they do something that pisses me off in every movie. And thank you for not showing me. But these people are here and they're like demanding like to be treated as almost like Lon Chaney's their servant. They're like, oh, we're staying here. What's for dinner? Like, what are you fixing us to eat? And Lon Chaney's like, we ain't got shit.
He even tells them, like, we're not
kinda.
prepared for guests. Like, you just kind of invited yourself in and expected it to be. I just got this letter today, people. I'm not prepared.
And that's when Emily says, well, I think you forget who is the guest and who is the servant or something.
Or the
like
host.
That.
Who is the guest? Who's the
like,
host?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, I would have slapped
Oh,
her.
my God.
Yeah, fuck her.
It's 67. I can do that. Okay, I'm just saying.
I can smack a bitch back in 67.
No, he didn't.
But so he's like, okay, you know what? And he gets this click in his head, like woman. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm sure we got some stuff around here. Instantly cut to outside with one of the girls hunting through mushrooms, which those are some weird fucking mushrooms out there.
I mean, she was like looking at them, checking them out.
Don't worry about it. They're
crawling around.
Yeah.
And she pokes her head up and you see this cat run across the field. Very nice, long-haired cat. And I'm like, oh, look at the cat. I'm like, you motherfuckers, don't you do it. And then all of a sudden, Sid Haig pops up behind a bush and beelines to that cat off screen. And you hear the cat. Oh, and when you have subtitles on, cat makes screaming sounds.
It said cat makes screaming sounds?
It's something along those lines. I'm like, I didn't need you to tell me that, Tubi. Thanks. And then Sid Haig's Ralph comes in and he sets this silver chalice serving platter with the lid on it right in the middle. I went, you motherfuckers, I know exactly what's under there. And they get to this dinner and Lon Chaney's like, oh, okay, everyone take your places, sit down. Everyone please sit down. Tells Ralph to take his hat off. I love that.
Yeah, that was cute.
Pops that fucking lid off that thing and everybody's looking at what I know is a cat. And Peter's like, wow, looks like rabbit.
Rabbit.
And I went, that ain't rabbit, Peter.
And even then, he is so just trying, man. He's trying to be upbeat. He's trying to make the best out of a situation. Emily's turning her nose up and being a snob about it.
Dude, she pulls crackers and cookies out of her fucking purse.
Her emergency snacks.
That was great. But I also like when Peter looks at Lon Chaney, he's like, I'll carve. And he goes, oh, thank you, sir. And fucking Peter's carving cat and serving it to the hot chick next to him.
He's like, hey, this is pretty good, y'all. You should try some.
And then the lawyer's like, I don't know, maybe I'll try this. And he picks up the mushrooms and he goes, oh, yeah, Elizabeth goes out and picks those because she's really good at finding the ones that are non-poisonous. And this dude's like, the fuck did he just say? And Peter goes, awesome, and takes it from him and puts some on his plate.
What a good guy.
He is a gem.
Lon Chaney looks at Emily and he goes, well, maybe you would like some of our lovely greens, and literally hands her shit from the yard.
Grass from the yard.
When we get done mowing,
you're right.
Hands it over to her.
It's a tumbleweed.
And fucking Virginia's like, let me help, and grabs these goddamn huge tongs and thud. His mound.
Wasn't it Peter that said, wait, this isn't dressed? Like, it doesn't have any dressing on it. And he was like, I don't know about that.
No. That's not what he's saying, Pete. Oh. He's carving into the cat, and he goes, it's not dressed, which means they didn't take the guts out of it.
Oh, no, I didn't.
They didn't dress the animal. And they pass over him saying, like, he even ignores himself because he starts eating. But that's during that whole interaction, he goes, he's in the middle of carving. He goes,
whoops, this
isn't dressed. And Sid Haig just kind of smiles. And I'm like, oh, fuck, they left the guts in.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you, like, this movie requires a couple of watchings, but even in that, I went, I'm digging on this. This is the kind of dark comedy I was expecting out of this movie. This whole dinner sequence, if they'd have maintained this level of kind of like chaos, but comedical chaos, I would have been, this would have been the greatest movie ever made. But
okay. All right. I'm not sure how you can maintain. I mean, okay, so Tucker and Dale did
right.
it.
That movie's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
Indeed,
but the
yes,
writing
really
for this is just so, it's so well done. And like I said, well, you totally missed what he said, but it's so funny.
I didn't catch it either.
When you realize it and you go, that's the comedy. And they don't, it's almost like they were like, okay, we're a horror movie. Now let's do a little comedy and levity. Oh, let's get back into a horror movie. Like they ebbed and flowed, but it made it kind of, they tried to ebb and flow and it didn't flow for me. Because if you're going to say that, you're going to add that kind of level of comedy to it.
Like, there's plenty of horror movies that have comedy.
But I've got to say though, I didn't laugh that hard at the scene in the movie. I just laughed because we were having fun together.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like I kind of chuckled at a few moments during the dinner scene, but for the most part, it was just, us laughing at the moment
that
with the movie together.
Everything. It's not a knee slapping episode. Now, if you watch it after you've listened to us, you're going to pick up on everything we said.
That's true. And I'm going to think back to y'all.
I laughed when Emily.
Now that did get me because I said emergency snackies, like relatable.
Made me laugh. I was like, "Oh, you're
when Peter
bitch,
went, oh, it's rabbit."
Twat.
I laughed.
Oh
I went,
God.
"Yeah, it's not rabbit. That's not rabbit, sir." Anyway, then now they're trying to.
Clearly, sir, you've never. Well, how could he know what a rabbit looks like?
Pete, it was small, strangly, and anything that small and strangly, you're gonna.
But he knows if it's not been dressed.
He's carving it. He would have. You're carving it, and you cut in the gut.
You know when the guts spill out, right? I get it.
Yeah, that's why you dress it. You got to get all that stuff out. You don't eat that stuff.
Yes, you got to get all the.
So during this dinner, we also find out that they're vegetarian because Lon Chaney, I guess they determined with this disease, if you eat meat, it kind of speeds up the path to being a cannibal.
The regressive
and
progress.
Freaking Ralph just grabs the entire cat and starts eating it, and even Peter's kind of like, is he not supposed to be eating it? Well, we try not to, but we do have a rule: if Ralph catches it, he can eat it. And I went, oh, I like what you did there, sir.
And then once again, Ralph just smiling while he's eating,
Sid
happy
Haig.
as can be.
Oh. The biggest grin, like he's
literally goes Peter, Lon Chaney, Sid Haig for me in this movie. Like that. That's my level of enjoyment as this goes, because it's just he doesn't say a whole lot. I think he only has like one line.
He's
in the
so
movie
expressive.
Towards the end. It's all in
with
his face.
Yeah, and his body movements. He's very physical actor.
I don't remember him saying a word, but he said so much without
it. Caught me off guard. I was like, oh wait, he can talk. He's Sid Haig's character in this is very much what Tiny's character is in House of a Thousand Corpses. Because that guy didn't talk.
Okay, yeah. Every time you mention House of I'm like, oh shit, you're right. This is totally much more violent. And
very much so.
Remake.
Well. Tones of what this is, obviously. I don't think it's definitely not a shot for shot. It's definitely more of a bit of an homage, but you can tell the love Zombie would have had for this movie.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
And so I was picking up a lot of even Firefly wearing the negligees in House of a Thousand Corpses is like the one lady wearing
Emily,
that outfit.
Good
I'm sorry.
point.
Damn it.
I also did
Jesus
read
Christ.
that the director and her went to Fredericks of Hollywood and she got to pick that outfit out. Fredericks, for those that don't know, is kind of like early Victoria's Secret.
The OG, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was like, that was Hollywood Boulevard. Victoria's Secret started in Ohio, by the way.
Wexford and Yeah, Wexner. That's it.
The Wexner family. Yeah, they're
Anywhere
the limited,
you see white
limited
fence
family.
with 3 rows and pickets around, that's owned by them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But Fredericks
That was very much Hollywood. And
Hollywood. That was the
very
lingerie of Hollywood.
Risque.
And it was a little
risque.
dirty. Oh, risque is a much better word. Yeah. Risque. I like
peekaboo.
That. Yeah, pretty.
I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back now because I have certain podcast episodes. No, no, sir.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
I'm not that kind of gal. Are you kidding me? I'm in a granny moo moo in an oversized shirt or something. I'm not a Victoria's Secret gal. That is not me. Oh gosh.
I need an adult.
No. Oh, don't call HR.
Don't call HR, please.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen because there are certain podcast episodes that I've saved, like certain interviews. A lot of them being the history of horror long form interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an episode from season 1 with Eli Roth, Rob Zombie, and Greg Nicotero. They're all 3 together in the interview at a table talking. And I've listened to like that episode and certain episodes since podcasting with you guys, and then I'll re-listen to them again. Like they mentioned Invasion USA in an episode, and I have never caught that until B Action covered it, and then I realized it was a movie and a thing. So I need to go back and listen to that interview and see if Zombie talks about Spider Baby, because then he's interviewed again for season 2, and it's a long form interview, and they talk about past movies and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go see if he ever mentioned Spider Baby.
This is actually, it's even listed in the IMDb about the influence that this movie had on House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh yeah,
a lot of the similarities. So,
nice.
Once like I'm pointing it out, and I'm sure a lot of people, if you've never seen this movie, you'll watch it and you go, "Oh, it's kind of in your face." Once that click happens in your brain, and you're like, "Oh, I see every second of certain scenes of that movie in this one." But this one,
I do want to go back and watch House.
It's been a while.
It's been a rough one.
Long time since I've seen it.
Rough.
I know. That's why I haven't gone back to watch it.
It's another one of those I don't watch on entertainment value alone. Like I just got to be like, it's been long enough. Maybe I'll revisit it, but it's not a, hey, I'm not doing nothing today. Let's pop in a House of a Thousand Corpses, kids.
Right. It does. It's pretty heavy.
Devil's Rejects.
It's pretty heavy in some moments, and it's one of those you kind of need a palate cleanser with afterwards. Like watch something funny, something clean.
Cannonball Run.
So this, and now we kind of get to the point, and again, we're not walking through it, but I do want to kind of hit some of the more prominent notes of this. So
we need to hit the
after
downbeats.
We're done with the dinner and everything, it's kind of where this movie now turns back into a horror movie.
Oh yeah,
it does, and this is where it really digs into the old dark house,
spooky house
ness of, because House on Haunted Hill, literally the old dark house, the haunting, all these old movies from the 30s and 40s that were this big creepy house.
Well, they even in this movie talk about doors. Dracula, Mummy, the Frankenstein, the Wolf Man, all that.
Oh yeah, Peter and Anne are like, do you really like these movies? I love them. Let's go get laid.
And there's a.
Oh, she was looking for some.
That's why she had that negligee on. That's what I'm saying at the beginning. Why are you wearing that?
No.
I'm going with Peter.
Anne. Anne and Peter were gonna go.
They're gonna go have a drink and then go get a room at the inn and have a good old time.
I
can't say I blame
There's
them.
only one room there tonight. That's exactly Peter's plan until there was no rooms left at the inn.
It's like that moment in Halloween 3 when they're in the hotel room and she goes, "Where are you going to sleep?" And then Tom Atkins goes, "That's a dumb question." That's my favorite moment from that movie. That's a dumb question.
Tom Atkins had sex with an android. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he did. He did.
But yeah, this is where the horror movie kicks in, and Peter and Anne fuck off because they're going to go to that. This big house only has one extra room.
it was
whatever.
big, but not huge. Yeah, it's not a mansion.
True.
Right.
So they have an extra spare room, and the lawyer and Emily, the relative, negligee, are gonna Miss Utah, by the way.
Oh, in real life?
1944, 45, Miss Utah. Yeah, 5th place in 1946.
She had some
games. First or last.
Like that.
She had some games. Yep.
She had some games. That's a very pretty gal. Anywho, so they go up, and she's like, this is bullshit. These people are putting us on. And the lawyer goes out and starts
Inspector Clouseau
digging around.
Pissed me off.
And, well, he catches
And
Ralph
she's-
too. Like when they're saying goodbye after dinner, he catches Ralph kind of going down into the secret passageway that they have behind the shelf. And then Ralph, when he's caught and he knows he's caught, and he just starts smiling real big and then closes it right back.
Yeah,
And then at that moment he was like,
a little bit or
'Cause he
something
don't
like
give a
that. Like
fuck.
he closed the door and then waves, and
Yeah.
the lawyer's like slinks away. Like
he's got his pipe. Like,
Ralph kills me at this 100%. Also, speaking of, as we're doing this nighttime scene, and we get the lady changing her clothes, and she's been wearing this negligee all day too. It's under her outfit. And
I don't understand that.
You get fucking Ralph's head dropping down from the floor above, upside Batman style, hanging upside down to peek in the window to
Spider-Man
catch a
style.
Spider-Man.
Dare I
yes.
say he was looking for that upside down kiss. That was his Mary Jane.
He got more than a kiss.
I know that's right.
They hung Sid Haig
By his
upside down
feet.
in that scene, and by his feet, and they hung him upside down for so long he
felt the
wouldn't
pressure
pass out,
behind
but
his
he would get-
eyeballs, and they would have to lift him
Yeah.
back up.
Stop, and he'd panic. Yeah,
It's a lot. I've been
Yeah,
I've
it was
hung upside
something, man.
down. That blood starts rushing to your head, and you'll feel that pressure.
dude. How can anybody hold you upside down?
Well,
They'd
I'd
have to
say
be on top
someone
of the
was
Eiffel
holding
Tower
me
to
upside down.
hang you
I have
upside
been-
down.
No, I
Someone
have
is
been
holding you
hanging
upside down. Is Andre
You
the
ever, you ever been
Giant?
on the monkey bars before or anything like that? Hang upside down.
You're
I
so
used to
tall.
install
the monkey
windows.
bars
I've
aren't tall
hung
enough to hang
outside
you
of
upside
pretty
down.
fucking tall buildings.
You
Not
you
upside
install
down on
windows upside
purpose.
down? What are you?
Sometimes it
you're
just
not looking at
happens.
my
I was
house.
gonna say it ain't always on purpose, Pete.
That's fair.
What OSHA don't know won't hurt them.
Right?
It's my company. I can do what
But
I want. Here's my
I do
permit.
what I
I do
want,
what I
yeah.
want.
But we finally get so the lawyer is snooping about and works his way down. We also get a small little nugget that Lon Chaney talks to the kids, and he goes, "I'm gonna go get a surprise. I'm gonna go get a toy for everyone, and we're gonna have fun later." And that kind of is why a lot happens. With Lon Chaney out of the house, because that's when the lawyer really starts snooping around. He goes down into that basement through the secret passageway, and he's fucking about. And I'm great 1967 horror when he hears that noise and he turns, and those two girls, it's very The Shining when they're standing up in that doorway and the light is behind them and they're in shadow, and he's trying to be all tough and don't you be doing all this shenanigans and
Now,
wagging
girls,
his
this
finger.
isn't right. This isn't
Yeah.
right. You know better.
And Lon Chaney finds, after the girls are done with him, he finds the lawyer in the dumbwaiter, and that's when he's like, "It's over, folks.
Yeah.
We're done." And then he goes down, has this speech with these
And
with,
Ralph.
with the girls and Ralph. Like, okay, so here's what's going on. It's emotional.
hit.
I don't know if you guys
No, it hit.
picked up on
No,
this at all, but it was Lon Chaney was legit crying. Like there were tears in his eyes. You could see them. And he's telling these kids that, okay, I'm going to go get a toy for all of us. And everybody's excited. Woo, a toy. Cool. Yeah. And we're going to fix all of
And the
this.
girls were kind of
In not so
panicking
many
because he's
words.
like, "I got to leave for a minute." And they're like, don't leave us alone. These people are here. Don't do that." because they're even afraid of not so much the people, but of the consequences. You know, they don't want anyone mad. Don't hate me. I don't want anyone mad at me.
Don't hate me. Don't hate me for killing the lawyer, which is exactly what they did. Dude, that was a vicious kill also, as he's climbing up the stairs and the blonde Elizabeth stabs him with a pitchfork.
Jams it into him.
Like, she just jams it in. Now, again, mostly off screen, but
there's a
not
little
a secret
nugget.
what happened.
There's two little nuggets we haven't mentioned in this that come to play later. We hear that there's two or three other people that live in this house. And it's Uncle Ned, Aunt something another, and they only mention it in passing. So you'll forget about them after a little while. Well, while the lawyer's in the
it's
the
very
lawyer's
easy to forget
in the
these people
basement
because
what he's looking for is he saw movement, and he goes to look down this like little hole in the floor, and then all of a sudden the girls pop in. So nothing happens there. It's leading up to what we find at the finale of the movie, that they're not alone in this house. There are other family members who have fully regressed, is what I took it as, because one of them's like fur covered. Like,
it's got that it's not like
it's like Wolf
but
Boy
it's
the Wild World
Wolf
magazine used to get at the I had Wolf Boy's baby.
Apologies. The freak shows that had the person with the pituitary gland that made you
look
grow
like the
hair
Wolf
from
Boy. I mean,
every
that's
inch
just the
of your
best way
body.
to get it and paint a picture for people. So it's the
It's
first time we
it's
see
a
that
disease,
there's more even going on than what we're seeing. And during all of this, the negligee lady has been attacked by Ralph because he's hanging from the window, and he reaches in and grabs her.
When they're going down that dumbwaiter though, and the girls got Peter in the spider web, and they're going down the dumbwaiter, and Sid Haig's got his hand over her mouth, and he's just like this.
That's a little later. That's a different person.
Yeah, negligee is the one he jumps through the window and grabs, and she gets away and runs off into the woods.
Oh, that's right. That's Anne. Anne. That's who it is. Because Pete.
Okay, no. I'm sorry. So Emily,
negligee lady,
just
Peter's cousin, and Emily is the one that stayed overnight in the house. Anne is the one that went with Peter.
That's what I'm talking about. So Anne's in the dumbwaiter.
Okay.
Because that's when Peter's
later,
back at that point.
Right now,
they're both back.
Oh my goodness. So Emily gets away from Ralph, runs into the woods as she's being chased by
Virginia.
Victoria.
Pete's just as guilty of this.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I am.
They're chasing
Elizabeth,
her just like Sherry Moon Zombie is chasing the guy in the rabbit costume. Little rabbit go running down the field.
Run, rabbit, run.
Run, rabbit, run. This is very much the two girls taunting her. We're going to get you in our spider web. We're going to sting you. They're running around with knives, and she's trying to get away. She makes a turn, and then it would be a great jump scare if I jumped at it, but all of a sudden Ralph jumps up out of the woods,
just stands right
grabs the aunt and throws her to the ground. We all know what's going on, and I think it's not Virginia, but Elizabeth that's standing over top, and she's like, Ralph, and her head kind of keeps tilting like she's seeing what's going on. She's processing it, but just kind of walks away from it. Like, she's witnessed pretty bad, but she just walks away back to the house and leaves the one lady out there with Ralph, and you hear the commotion basically as it's going on. So we know we can put two and two together what Ralph's doing.
Ralph has raped Emily. Yes. And we see Emily later, and we will get to that.
I have to walk through it. You can say exactly what happens is, a ton of chaos is happening in the house, and then Emily gets up. Like, we think honestly, I thought she was dead. Like, I thought it was an off-camera kill, and she was done and gone. But during the chaos of what's happening in the house, when Peter shows back up, because there's no room at the inn, he's playing Spider, which they set up later that he would play with the kids.
They show up trashed.
Yeah.
The two of them.
Oh, yeah.
Peter and Anne show up, and Peter is doing the most wonderful impersonation of me.
Yes. Pete's being Pete. Pete's got a Pete.
Pete's being Pete.
Pete's got a
Pete's
Pete.
got a Pete. And Pete's real drunk, and he's stumbling on his words.
The girls are basically in kill mode, and even though they've argued amongst themselves about, we like Pete, we like they call her the pretty lady. We like the pretty lady.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes, they do like these two because they were
yeah.
kind to
But
them.
they also keep
And
going. They're gonna tell. They're gonna tell. That's their.
And
that's how
yeah.
they reconcile what they're getting ready to do in their heads.
that's what Bruno told them. Like people are going to
Yeah.
talk. People are going to tell. If you keep killing people, somebody's
But
going to
Bruno,
talk.
who is Lon Chaney, thought Peter and her left and were no longer an issue. So for this to happen. So the girls divide them. They're like, well, I'll take the pretty lady up to her room. Peter, you promised to play a game with me. We're going to play Spider. And takes him into there and ties him up with the web thing we saw from earlier in the movie, and like really ties him up, then gets a little nutty and gets a little uncomfortable for Charlie watching this movie.
Yeah, if you don't see this scene and not get uncomfortable, you should talk to somebody,
because it's on multiple levels that all of a sudden she's
young. She's a relative.
Yeah, exactly. There's all these like don't do it.
Yeah.
But she is playing a game now. Now you start realizing how conniving she is, how, she's even, I hate saying it like this because she's supposed to be portraying a younger minded person, but she's seducing him in her way.
Absolutely is.
Because she's like,
she tickles him. She sits on his lap. She pulls her skirt up, or dress up.
Yeah.
She's absolutely trying to seduce him. And it takes him a little bit to catch on. But once he catches on, he's like, why don't you untie me?
But he got into survival.
It's
He
too
got
late.
into survival mode because she goes, "You're my bug and I'm your spider. And spiders love bugs, but bugs don't love spiders." And he realizes at that point, like, oh, fuck, she's going to kill me. And he goes, no, I love spiders. And, he's trying to
it's just
by
like,
that time. And then that's when Sid Haig has Pretty Lady in the dumbwaiter.
Right.
Yeah, he
I mixed up blondes.
It happens. This movie's gonna
do not.
But that's what stops her.
You said everything correctly, and like, no, wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what stops, because she's like getting ready to what she calls sting him, and then Virginia shows up, and then Sig goes down the thing, and she's like, I have to go over here now, and reconvene with the family.
It's almost surreal at this point because they're almost acting as a hive mind, and they're walking around as one sort of. It's weird, and they leave Peter upstairs on this rocking chair or something.
That was just a chair because he has to scoot it because he's trying to free himself out of there. And I think it's right about this time that Lon Chaney gets back. He doesn't see Peter tied up, but he goes down into the basement and he sees that they have Anne. And he's kind of like, what are y'all doing? What's going on? Stop what you're doing.
I left you in charge. Please don't do this.
And he has a suitcase in his hand, and he sits down and kind of gathers the children.
Yeah.
Also, it's about this time that Emily has woken up from outside.
I think it's right before Lon Chaney comes.
Is it right before?
That Emily goes down. Yes, that's true. So Emily wakes up from outside after being violated. And she has a look on her face like, I'm going to kill every motherfucker that I can.
I thought they changed.
Whoever I see.
Like, she comes off like zombie-ish, like changed. You know what I mean? Like,
she's she's like, I'm killing.
I get
everybody.
that aspect of it, but for a split second, I went, "Is this genetic disease transmissible this way?" I was thoroughly
penetrable.
She walks into the house, hears Peter's like, "Help me! I'm stuck in a chair." Ignores.
Oh, she looks at him like he's already dead. Like
she's like, "Whatever. I got me somebody to kill." Walks down the stairs, and this is one of the best. It's one of my favorite scenes. Like she walks down the stairs. Sid Haig Ralph has Anne in a headlock or holding her mouth, trying to get her to scream. And Victoria is trying to cut her leg off.
Oh, because if she loses a little bit of blood, she'll be quiet.
She'll be quiet.
Yes.
How much are you going to bleed up? Just enough so she's quiet.
I'm trying to make a straight cut. I liked when she said that.
Stop moving.
She's holding a hacksaw over her leg.
It's good. A hacksaw. That's right. It's great. I mean, she's holding her leg and Anne is moving it. She's trying to get it's wonderful. So Emily is there. And as soon as Emily is there, Ralph looks up and goes, "Hey, that's my girlfriend. How you doing?" And he smiles at her like they've known each other for 20 years. And it's the best. They're like, "Oh, there's my girl. How you doing?" And then the camera goes back to Emily and she turns into the fucking predator.
She goes feral, dude.
Oh my God. Like, and she just attacks Ralph. Oh my God, it's wonderful. And just starts choking him. And I think he kicks her off and kicks her into the basement.
Yes, she falls.
Or the crawl space where the rest of the family is.
She lands near it. She stands up to go attack him again. And these hands fly up, pull her down, and you see her fall, and then just bodies crawl on top of her.
My God, that was horrifying.
Yeah.
Like you're standing there looking this way, right? And somebody grabs your ankles from behind and pulls you down.
I'm going to do it again. It's the Dr. Satan scene in House of a Thousand Corpses.
It 100%.
Yeah, whenever they fall down the hole.
Evil Dead.
They do the coffins down into there, and then there's all this. It's like a whole nother world down there, but this is kind of like their way of, there's more shit going on here than we've even known in this entire movie, and it's insane, the reveal.
That's why I try to put my feet into the shoes of the people that would watch this for the very first time.
That had to be terrifying.
Right. And that was
a legit good jump scare. It was a realization. So much has happened in a minute 30 that you can't catch your breath at one of these points. And all this has happened, and then you have the most calm Lon Chaney
just walking down the stairs with a suitcase.
Just kind of a little bit of a look of disappointment on his face, but then it turns to happiness. He smiles through this entire thing when he sets that case down, opens it up, and it's full of dynamite. And the kids circle around like, "You brought us our toy.
What's that?
What are we going to play? What is this going to be?" So excited.
It's gonna flash and it's going to go boom.
I mean, this is
and everybody's
the
excited. Like, that sounds so
childlike
cool.
of them. You know, all this is happening. Peter's trying to break free. He hops around. He falls down the doorway, lands, gets freed up. And Lon Chaney just looks at him and goes, "Oh,
after he's lit the dynamite.
Yeah.
And he looks at Peter and he goes, "You need to leave. You need to get out of here." Lon Chaney's even patting on the fuse, trying to put it out, but he's calm. And then Peter's like, "Where's Anne?" And this hand comes up out of this box, snatches her up running, and Lon Chaney still looking at these kids with love, smiling.
And then telling Peter, "You better hurry up." And then Peter says,
He literally does. I like that. I am trying.
It's coming. Like,
runs up those stairs, gets outside of the house, and then
Yeah.
Boom.
House
Lon
explodes.
Chaney keeps his word,
And
takes care of the family, protects the family.
He
and
did. He did. The children are dead. The
relatives are dead.
That were in the basement. We all will assume.
I'm going to say that's what they were going for, honestly, because the explosion happens in the basement. It's not like he rigged it everywhere. So,
Oh, yeah, everywhere.
I feel like this was a very meaningful moment of my last duty to my master is to protect the family, and the only way I can keep anything from happening to them is to kill them all at the same time. I can't bring myself to stab each one, because that's something he probably would have had to think of. How do I now? I got to figure out how to do this, but I can't go on without them.
Let's do it all at once. One fell
painlessly.
swoop.
You're not gonna
would
film an
assume
explosion.
No, not at that close range.
You're gone.
No, you're eviscerated.
So it's the most lovingly way humane. That's the word I'm looking for.
Humane, yeah.
Humane and loving.
Way to deal with the family. And the movie ends with Peter, who started the movie by showing us a book of medical diseases. We find out that's who Peter is. He inherited all the money, and he's still kind of like, yeah, I got a lot of money, and kind of is like, oh, well, about it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was kind of a lot.
Yeah, kind of a lot. Oh yeah, and my wife and my kid, and he married the girl, and they have a lovely
Anne.
little daughter, and she's, mommy, can I go outside and play?
And I'm happily married. We can't give.
That's fine. I don't want to. I don't want to get married to anybody.
She's like, no,
Good for you.
Not unless they're blue collared and can fix things around the house.
Amen, brother. Amen. Fucking man. Washer's still working though, Charlie.
Hey,
It's working.
woo.
Yeah.
I am Dial a Plumber. Just call me and I will walk you through
Dial a
it.
Plumber.
I
was like, Charlie, you know anything about washers?
As a matter of fact,
Hey,
I do.
I fixed my zero-turn mower today.
Awesome. Did you put gas in it?
Shit.
No, I ain't got no gas in it.
I replaced 2 springs.
I know what's wrong with it.
God.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Anyway,
and then I did get a chuckle at this ending that the daughter walks outside and she's just looking out up in the sky. But then you realize
looking at the camera.
I
was like,
yeah.
It is weird when someone looks
It's
at the camera and you're
creepy.
not expecting it.
I was like, why are they looking at me?
It's like the Omen when the kid looks at the, or is it?
It's the
Omen.
Omen.
Yes, the Omen.
But the camera then turns around and she's looking at a spider in the tree, and then the title card, "The End." Big question mark. I laughed at that point. I was just like,
that's hilarious. It's like the egg cracking, like the crocodile egg cracking at the end, or the critter, the krites when they
Freddy's hand busts out of the ground, grabs Jason's
Right,
mask, pulls it down.
Yeah.
All of the things. So that's our way of going through a very old movie. Honestly, I'm surprised. We did way better than I expected. I was like, man, we got barely an hour about this movie, but there's a lot of little things we dug into.
Such a good movie.
Under hour and a half.
And it's got layers. 84 minutes.
It's like an hour and 20.
Yeah. So
there's an 81-minute version and an 84-minute version. Watch 84 because there's a rough cut at the very end that was very confusing when I watched it. And then I watched the 84-minute version and I'm like,
I watched it on Tubi, which was better. The only spot that I caught, and it had to be in the film, was when Peter was tied up. The format got fuzzy, but then the camera would cut to another scene, and it was clear, and then cut back to him. So I'm thinking wherever they filmed that, something got damaged on that piece of film. And that's the only, other than that, filmed in black and white, gorgeous. Gorgeous on Tubi.
The version that Arrow has is like 89
so
minutes.
that
There's
version
8 extra minutes.
that version adds some of the stuff that was on the VHS that they didn't put on the digital that they released because they kind of trimmed it up a little bit. So the full version has what was found added in that was in that VHS.
Okay.
So all right, well, that's it. I say we get into the things. What do you think?
Please.
Yep.
I've had so much fun.
I can tell.
These old movies are my wheelhouse. So
they are.
God, I love them. I love them so much.
Pete, this is exactly why I fuss at you whenever I give you an entire month, yet you don't bring anything you love that much. You just go, I'm going to fuck with everyone. That's my month.
Yeah.
When I'm like, Pete, give me a movie you like that means something to you. And
I gave you 2 in a row.
You did. Well, I mean, you gave me us a good one earlier, but they didn't mean nothing to you. You went, I want to watch that. Maybe we'll cover it.
It was a director I love.
Okay.
I love the director.
I'll accept that. That's fine. All right, so obviously I looked around, I didn't see anything, so I actually had to do the count on this one, and my count comes up to 10 dead people in this
I said
movie.
3.
Well, you have the messenger who dies. You have Virginia. You have Elizabeth. You have Lon Chaney.
I was not counting them blowing themselves up.
3 people in the basement.
You have Fred. I counted 3 relatives down there. There were 3 bodies crawling
There's
around.
3 of them.
Then you had Emily. Then you had the lawyer. So 10 people we see. I mean, Dad's dead, but Dad's been dead for a while up there as a skeleton.
I wouldn't count
so that doesn't get counted. I probably should count the cat because it pissed me off. But
that's
10 and a half.
Yeah, 10 and that's mean and 10 and a half.
Mean.
But no, so that's it because obviously the 2 people we actually like in this movie do survive. So hey, final girl, final guy, before the big tropes start happening. So I'm down for that. All right, let's pick our favorite kill out of this.
What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
Oh man. Okay, Anna, let's go. What's your favorite
It's
kill?
the mailman at the beginning.
Is it? Okay.
Because it shocked the shit out of me. I was like, damn, what am I in for?
Right.
So yeah.
Charlie, what about you, bud?
I like that one, but I kind of like the brutality of killing the lawyer. Plus, I hated that character.
Oh, that's good.
From taunting him, and the one girl slashes at him, which causes him to fall. So it's kind of reminiscent of slicing an Achilles heel. Don't go down that bad.
Probably hit him in the
But the other girl grabbing that pitchfork and just ran. Like, I feel like they gave her something to stab because you don't see it, but the way she stabs and reacts to it, it's as if she stabbed like there's
a bale of hay,
a sack of beans.
Just like she actually hits.
It's not you know that feeling like
because there's resistance when she
because otherwise it would go too fast. Like she'd go forward and it would feel too fast. It felt like she had resistance, like you said, and went into someone's body. So I really like the lawyer kill, but humbly, I do have a soft spot for blowing up the entire family. That was but it was also an emotional. So I'm torn. There's a lot of emotion, and I do love an explosion in the movie.
It's an emotional explosion.
There you go. My favorite kind.
How many kids do you have?
3. I'm not blowing them up though. Yeah.
3. Okay.
All right, Pete. What's your favorite kill in this movie?
Yeah, nobody's wrong here tonight, but man, when those cellar dwellers grab Emily from her ankles and drag her down, boy, oh boy. And like, we don't see any gore in this movie at all.
There's no blood, no nothing.
But if you just like let it all live in your head, it's awful.
Yes.
So they're pulling her apart bit by bit, just like Dawn of the Dead.
They're eating her because they've already dropped the nugget that the fully regressed to go to cannibals. It's a weird thing Peter says at the beginning when he's reading the book. It's like, oh, you go through all the stages, from puberty and adolescence, even down into infancy, but there's a level past that. And that's when it gets into cannibalism, a reversion back to early man almost, I think is something he says. So you got so these people have gone through it's like reverse Benjamin Button without de-aging. Their brain is just going that way. So at some point there's a very infantile like person walking around, and after that you're like, well, there's nowhere to go. You go back evolution wise, and you just become feral. It's just now about, it's zombie-ish. You just want to eat. That's all you care about pretty much. So a lot of layers in this movie. A lot of layers when we really start talking about
I'm telling you, this is a great film. Why don't we rate it?
Okay, we will then, sir.
See,
what a lead in.
What a segue.
Nailed it, P. Nailed it.
Never been more proud in my life.
Charlie, give us a rating for this film.
So this is very, very difficult.
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you. This is an old movie.
It's a very early movie. It's not extremely gory. It hits in places. No. It did miss in places for me that I kind of was. And again, it could be fully my fault, but I did enjoy it.
Probably.
Well, I didn't watch a trailer, Pete. I just read what was going on. And I am glad I saw dark comedy, because then it made me understand when all of a sudden we're laughing around the dinner table doing insane shit. But I guess I was like, I want more of that, because I really love a good dark, comedy, a black comedy. So I think, to be fair, I'm going to give this a solid 7. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I might even watch it again, but it's not going to be one that I would just throw on out of nowhere. I want to watch it again to see if I missed little things. Like you missed him saying dressing the rabbit. I want to see if there was anything else.
I heard him say it, but I missed the meaning.
I want to see if there's other little things that happened that maybe I missed that I might enjoy. Solid pick though. So 7 for me.
Excellent. Anna, talk to me.
Friend. I'm right there with Charlie. I think it's a 7. I think he took everything that I was thinking and said it. I don't feel like it has a ton of rewatchability, but I would recommend it, obviously. And if I had a friend that was like, "Oh, I've never seen this, I'll watch it with you," kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
But I said it from the jump. It's a vibe. And if you don't like those early movies, you're probably not going to like this one. But it got me from the beginning. I loved that intro. I loved that opening kill. And I was strapped in till the very end. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Nice.
Pete, you brought this.
Wonderful.
So,
yes,
and you were excited to bring it, which is another reason I was totally okay to thumbs up and be like, yeah, let Pete go. So,
thumbs up.
I'm happy that you both enjoyed it and gave it a positive recommendation. This, I hate this movie.
I figured.
That's
I was like, what? I don't understand you.
Not enough panties on heads in this movie. 0 stars.
No boobs.
Friends, there are Pete movies and there are Pete movies. And this is a Pete movie. That doesn't help define them.
If you know, you know. I know exactly what you mean.
But I really love an old dark house movie. And this is an old dark house movie. The Haunting, the House on Haunted Hill, the Dorm That Dripped Blood, for heaven's sakes. There's a lot of these mansions that are creepy and have killings in them, and this is one of them. And I thought the performances from these people are, God, especially Lon Chaney, is remarkable. His acting prowess.
Drink another beer. There you go. You'll get it. You'll get it this time.
I will. That said, it's a slow moving film. It doesn't really get me juiced up, so it's a solid 8.5.
Okay.
I mean, I want to buy this movie. I will buy this movie one of these days and have it in my collection, because I feel strongly how good this movie is and how influential it was for, at the very least, Rob Zombie.
Right.
Clearly.
I honestly, I would say if you are a fan of Rob Zombie films, and especially House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil Rejects, you kind of need to watch this movie.
I really do want to see House of Thousand Corpses. I swore to God I'd never see it again.
Which is fair. I mean,
now that you've brought so many things up about this movie and that,
just look at little things and just realize, shit, where have I seen this before? And that's what I'm doing in here. I went, why have I seen this? Oh, that's why I've seen this. Oh, that makes a lot.
But
more
it's
sense.
been 15 years since I've seen House of a Thousand Corpses.
It's probably been about 3 years since I watched it again. I get it.
Okay, so it's a little clearly fresher
in my mind.
I saw it once and I'm like, I don't need to see that again.
I know, totally off topic, but kind of. But I had got a 3-pack because I had never seen 3 from Hell, which is the end of the trilogy for those. And I went, well, I don't want to just watch this because it's been a while since I watched the other 2. So I watched all 3.
Yeah, you might as well.
So, and obviously Devil's Rejects is amazing. House of a Thousand Corpses is a lot of fun, but even Rob Zombie says, yeah, that's got problems. I wish I could do it over. 3 from Hell has its moments, and I am a huge fan of Richard Brake.
I love him, yeah.
But it's also, that's probably one I probably won't ever watch again. It's like, okay, I've seen it. I'm good. That level of movie.
Okay.
So
I feel that way about 31. Have y'all seen that one?
I haven't. And after listening to Spoils, who just covered it,
Spoils covered it.
They keep saying it's Rob Zombie's Running Man, and that's the best way to get me interested in a movie.
Yeah. My favorite zombie is Lords of Salem. I think that's his best movie.
Haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen that.
I'm also a fan of his Halloween movies. I don't care who knows that.
I like the first one. Yeah. I saw that.
The very first Rob Zombie Halloween is
Let me tell you, I saw this when that came out. I think it came out before 2007, right?
Probably.
I don't
because
remember.
I was still in high school, but my friend was a year older than me, and she was dating some.
You were in high school in 2007?
That's when I graduated. Christ. Yeah, and but my friend who was a year older was dating someone who was already 21. So it was like, she's with somebody who can buy us alcohol, right?
Gross.
So we go to the opening night showing of this movie, and it's a packed fucking theater, and this guy brings in a 40 can of beer in a brown bag. And
one?
Yes, one. And he was already drunk when we got there. It was a problem. It wasn't like a fun. Anyways, but when we're in this movie, I will never forget when Michael Myers beats the shit out of that kid with that log. Like the entire theater is quiet. And he goes, I'll drink to that. And pops his top on that beer, and the entire theater laughed. I was like, oh my God, I'm mortified, but I always think of that moment every time I think of that movie.
I'd party with that dude. That's kind of
dude, I don't know.
I like that.
I don't know, Charlie.
Well, I think I've mentioned it on the show, but since we're talking about it directly here, I have a connection to a House of a Thousand Corpses because I saw Rob Zombie in concert, and it was before the movie had come out. And in the middle of the concert, he kind of stops everything and he goes, "You fuckers want to see some cool shit?" And everyone's like, "Yeah!" And a screen drops down and he plays a segment from the movie before it ever came out.
You were there for
No
that?
shit.
Sherry Moon Zombies go-go dancing in the background. It's one of the scenes with her. It might have even been the rabbit run scene, and because I think he starts playing House of a Thousand Corpses or wherever the song is that he I forget the name of it, but he rolls right into playing this song that's in the movie, and it's fucking amazing.
Dude, that's awesome.
So I will always remember that. It's one of my favorite things I've seen. And he was supposed to be outside at this theater we were at in Columbus. It rained, so he had to move all his shit into the inside theater. He left half of it out there because there wasn't room, and he still was able to bring in the flamethrowers. And I'm not in the pit, but I'm at the balcony above the pit, real close. We're fucking hot. I was like, I don't know how the guys in the pit are alive right now.
Like that GIF, what is it from Terminator? When it's like,
yeah,
when
Sarah Connor gets obliterated.
Yeah,
I felt like that, but the people below me were already skeletons, apparently, so they were already gone. But yeah, top 10 memory for me going to a concert was Rob Zombie.
Nice.
You fuckers want to see something cool?
Yeah! Hell yeah. Always.
That's a stupid question.
That's awesome.
Some asshole. No, fuck you.
Get out of the concert.
All right. Well, I think that was a successful Pete pick. I'm not going to give it a trash opinion.
I'm pretty happy about that.
Successful 2
I really
Pete
am.
picks in a
Heck
row.
yeah. The
Way to
hell?
go, Pete.
Hey, even February
I was
a
going to say,
pretty
are
good-
you swinging
pretty
a
good-
perfect game with me right
We
now?
don't talk about Cruel Jaws. We don't mention it again.
I had fun with that. Okay.
I know. Charlie's on that hill with you. I'm over on the shore with Nate.
Me and Pete will die on that boat, drunk and throwing fire and gasoline on her boyfriend.
Throwing gasoline on a shark.
But so everybody knows we lost an episode. And now our order is all out of sorts. So we're trying to get straightened back up. So we have one more episode for May to come out. And since I lost my horror pick, it's going to land on an action pick. And I went,
ooh, I have one.
It's already picked.
Sorry, picked.
I had a good one too.
I know,
but I lost mine. So
true.
That's how I justified this.
That's true.
So I decided I went for Broke. It's been a movie I've been trying to squeeze in somewhere, and it's just never quite fit. It even missed the boat for Month of Action. And then I had this opening happen, and I went, fuck it. We're doing RoboCop Part 2. So everyone knows my love of RoboCop. It's literally tattooed on my body. I do got to get Kane, though. I got to get the RoboCop 2 bad guy on here. But I love RoboCop. I'm surrounded by everything RoboCop, so we will be doing the sequel, and I'm looking forward to it. And during that episode, we will reveal what June has in store.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So
I'm just putting it all out there.
Excited and terrified.
I can't believe we're trying to squeeze this in before the Month of Action.
It's chaos.
Month of Action takes so much from me that I'm like, oh God, we got to. Otherwise, we don't have any time, because after the month of month of action, it's a whirlwind, and all of a sudden it's Christmas. So I'm sorry for saying that out loud, but we all are thinking it. So
Eagly's very excited to be back.
He's
He's missed you guys. I talked to him the other day.
I can't.
Did
I
you?
did. He's doing
How's he
well.
doing?
Yeah, he's still sassy.
Did he have kids this year?
No, he's still paying child support on the other ones he got.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He likes that bachelor
I
life.
heard about it.
He does. I don't blame him.
He was watching that live stream of those other two Eagles that had kids.
Right.
Yeah, that's his
Baldy and Boogie
that was
or
his
something.
cousin. So he's an uncle.
sure.
I mean, I didn't know if you knew that, but
He's the cool uncle.
yeah,
Everybody loves
Uncle
Eagly.
Eagly.
Oh, Uncle Eagly. I love it.
Uncle Eagly. That sounds like a song. Uncle Eagly.
Used to play football with Uncle Rico. Throw that football over that mountain over there. Fine. All right. Well, if you guys want to continue following us and everything we got going on, you can find us over at Facebook at Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the Facebook group. Give Me Back My Action Movies, the Facebook group. Both of us are over on Instagram. And if you want to follow all of us, you can find Nerd at the Movies, which is our very own Scream Queen on Instagram, who bridges all of the shows and her own shows over at Baron's Hideout. You can Pete. They released an episode not too long ago. I'm getting caught up on it.
Who?
Yeah,
Who
Pete
did?
over at Good Beer Bad. Good Beer
did?
Bad Movie
Oh,
Night.
yeah.
Batwoman. Yeah, Batwoman for your
Batwoman.
May. I did finally
1968. It's
did finally
great.
get to
that movie's awesome.
listen to Son-in-Law the other day. Excellent episode. Kathleen
That's all
gets all the
Kathleen.
high fives.
Yes.
But it was a fun episode throughout. Also, I did catch the commercial, Pete. So
He did. We just talked about that the other day. He goes, I don't think Charlie recognized or noticed the commercial. He didn't say anything. I know he listened to it.
I notice everything. Those that don't know have heard the Charlie and Nate commercial that I haven't remade in forever. Pete and Anna have taken upon themselves that about halfway through, please follow Charlie, Nate, and Ed, Pete, and Anna, or however it is. Just out of nowhere, they added it into the commercial.
I was none the wiser to this. That was all Pete.
Right.
I was filled in after the fact. Pete, back me up.
I did not include anyone in this.
Oh,
it was a surprise. And Pete and Anna sent me.
But I did, after the fact, I did tell Anna.
Yeah. And I was like, that's hilarious.
There was still a little bit of collaboration happening. So, all right. So make sure you tune in next week covering RoboCop 2, and then we'll let you know what's going on for June. And as I mentioned, we're rolling fast into month of action. That is all of July, nothing but action movies the entire month. Anything else? Are we good? Are we ready to get out of here?
Let's get out of here.
We will see y'all next week.
Bye.